What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Yanks of the Cop. Joined today by my brother Andrew, as always. Don't forget, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe for us. We really appreciate all you guys. Sorry about the week off. After that tough Aston Villa defeat, I think we both just needed to clear our heads for a little bit, not talk about this, kind of let everything settle. But Andrew, how you doing tonight, man?
Doing well, doing well. Yeah, it's I haven't really watched much international football, to be honest. I actually can't believe that they're going through with it. I think we've clearly seen some increased COVID cases. So hopefully the boys can come back, and besides Keita and Shaq, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I think it's really freaking stupid to play like a lot of these meaningless games for no reason at all, and especially in the middle of a pandemic, have them fly everywhere in the world. It's one of the dumbest things. Like think of a guy like Minamino who had to fly all the way to Japan. I mean, it's pretty ridiculous. But anyway, let's kick things off on a little bit of a sour note with that Aston Villa game. I don't want to go too deep into all that stuff, but the biggest thing I want to cover is: do you think it was more of a blip, or are you actually concerned with everything that you saw, like long term for the rest of the season?
I'm not concerned long term. I think that well, actually, I don't know. It's funny. I rewatched the game, and you could definitely see that there was a lot of defensive errors. There was a lot of midfield errors as well. I remember after the Leeds United game, we came on the podcast here, or the YouTube channel here, and we spoke about how we let their midfield have the ball too long. Our press wasn't very effective against them. They were playing balls over the top, and they were immediately countering on us very quickly. We've seen that with Chelsea before. We saw that with Arsenal a little bit on the counter. So if our midfield isn't pressing effectively, our defense is in trouble, specifically the right side of our defense. Joe Gomez and Trent Alexander-Arnold. They definitely struggled I think they've definitely struggled defensively throughout the start of the season. But they struggled really, really badly against Aston Villa. And at what point was Jurgen Klopp going to stop playing the high line? Aston Villa was just executing it perfectly. I mean, props to them. Aston Villa came out and played extremely well. They had 3 deflected goals. They had a goalie error as well. But I mean, they took it to us. They weren't afraid of Liverpool. And we're going to have to start expecting that, especially now that we're the champions. Everybody's going to want to have a go at us. And I just hope that Klopp and the defense can figure this out as soon as possible, because it seems like teams have a game plan against us, and it's to attack that right side.
I completely agree. I mean, the biggest takeaway for me was definitely the right side of the defense needs some work. And we've said it consistently all year about Joe Gomez, and that's the only thing he concerns me. He's a very talented player. He still has a very bright future ahead of himself, but his discipline is pretty poor, and his positioning is very poor. And when he first was playing with Van Dijk, even last year, Van Dijk and him had a great rapport, really, really well. But it seems like now, ever since we're playing this high line, Gomez has really been struggling with that in every single game so far. I think I want to say about 80% of the goals that we've given up so far have come from the Gomez Trent Alexander-Arnold side. And I also think that this was a classic game that we could have used Jordan Henderson, because Jordan Henderson can cover those two pretty well, especially when Trent gets up. Henderson's job is to pretty much sit in for him. And you just saw it with that midfield with Fabinho, Keita, and Wijnaldum. Keita's not 100% there yet when it comes to his defensive positioning and knowing where to be in the press. And I think that's why he continues to be subbed out. Long term, I'm not worried about it. He has made some improvements, to still not there yet. And then, Wijnaldum kind of came out with another pedestrian performance too. So, the midfield got completely walked all over. The only thing that pissed me off was a lot of the abuse Adrian was getting. Like, I get it. He made a mistake in the first 5 minutes, and you can tell now that the entire team is on edge anytime he has the ball at his feet. That's his biggest problem, is that he does not trust himself with the ball at his feet.
But that's how it was with Karius too. When Karius was there, people revisionist history is perfect, because people have always forget that when Karius was back there, we were giving up goals pretty frequently. And I don't think the defense really trusted him much either. So Yeah. Adrian definitely made that mistake, and it definitely set the tone a little bit. But it's up to the players and Adrian himself to react to that.
But
Uh,
it goes back to, though, like, as Liverpool fans, the one thing we always love to say about this team is that we're mentality monsters. So if you're really mentality monsters, you're not going to let one mistake in the first 5 minutes dictate how you play the rest of the game. And it was so clear that's exactly what happened. I know they had the 3 deflection goals, but I haven't seen Ross Barkley play that great in so long, and that was his first game for Aston Villa. Like, he looked like his old self when he was at Everton.
well, he had free reign in the midfield. Fabinho and Keita and Gini weren't checking him at all. He was just running through. I think he had like 3 or 4 opportunities in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Luckily, he butchered him. But
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I think outside of Salah, every single person on the field was pretty poor.
I thought Robertson played well.
And Robertson. Yeah,
I thought Salah played well. That was pretty much it. Jota was okay. Bobby was atrocious. But going back to what you were saying about Henderson, and how big of a miss he is, when Naby Keita is in there, he's on. I think he was playing on the right side of the center midfield, and he is just when teams attack Trent Alexander-Arnold on that right side, it's Naby's job and it's Fabinho's job to cover for him.
100%.
And also, it's Joe Gomez's job. So oftentimes, Joe Gomez, he is a ball watcher, so he'll likely cheat over to Trent's side. That opens up certain parts of the midfield. So Fabinho has to cover there. That's where Henderson is so good at covering for Trent. He's always back there. He's always cleaning up and doing the dirty work. So I think he's definitely some guy that we've really missed, and we've missed his leadership in the midfield. I mean, people keep talking about it, but he's definitely a guy that he doesn't put the numbers up, doesn't put big numbers up, but we won so many games the past 2 years, and even under Klopp, because of Jordan Henderson. So
100%.
I expect him to play against Everton in the derby, and I would expect Naby Keita. Well, Naby Keita is going to sit because he has COVID, but even if he didn't, I would expect him to see the bench.
Well, it's funny because, there was a lot of things that concerned me about this game, but when you really think about it, especially from a midfield point of view, we didn't have Henderson and we didn't have Thiago. And obviously those 2 guys are going to be pretty much right-ins every single time if they're healthy into the midfield. And I think it would have been a different game if those 2 guys were in there, because I think we haven't really seen much from the Thiago yet, but those 2 guys are going to dictate how the rest of the team plays. Like, Van Dijk can handle only so much as a center back, but having the leadership of Henderson and just having the poise that Thiago does, we needed that. There was the 3 in the midfield were running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah.
Had no direction, and I don't know, is that a reflection on Van Dijk's leadership a little bit there, because he was kind of calling the shots that game, and I saw I just didn't see anybody working hard. This looks like they all took the day off almost. And the one thing I will say, looking back on this, is I'd much rather lose 7-2 and have everyone get a kick in the ass than lose 3-2 and have it be like, oh, they got lucky. It was a little one-off.
Yeah, I think it's all about the reaction, to be honest. I mean, it's a great game to have following a 7-2 defeat, because we're going against Everton. We'll have all the motivation in the world to show them and the rest of the league that we're not a joke. Obviously, we're not a joke because we're the champions, but that it wasn't just a one-season wonder, and that we're going to beat the undefeated Blues, because they're our next-door neighbor. You know that they're going to be chomping at the bit. That that they're going to want to beat Liverpool. They see some blood in the water. So let's make sure that we take it to them.
Yeah, I mean, some Evertonians are already acting like they've already won the championship over us. Like, I saw a video of this woman drove her small child to Anfield and had him stand right outside of Anfield after we lost to Aston Villa, being like screaming and yelling all that stuff. I'm like,
let them do that.
That's loser mentality right there. So no issues there. But going back to what we were talking about with the international break and how freaking ridiculous it is. I mean, Keita and Shaq testing positive. Absolutely ridiculous that they're doing it. And then to go one step further, the fact that Henderson's coming back from injury and fucking played for England. Absolutely. Like, I hate that stuff, man. Like, first of all, Southgate, that guy sucks. Like, not Henderson, Jack Grealish played incredible for them. And he refuses to comment on him after the game. Like, Grealish must have banged his wife or something, because this guy truly just does not like him. Started talking about Mason Mount when he got asked specifically about Grealish. Don't get it. But ties back to Liverpool. Yeah. Henderson, playing for England before he even gets to play for Liverpool. Keita and Shaq testing positive. I mean, it's a mess. It's got to be a mess right now.
Yeah, like we said in the beginning of the episode, it's something that I wish they eliminated for the near term, because especially the international friendlies, maybe the Nations League or the Euro qualifiers, definitely play those, but the, the international friendlies are just absolutely pointless. I don't understand why you'd risk so many players to the potential of COVID-19 when you could just have them train in for, maybe give them a week off. Like what's so wrong with that? They played through the summer, and then they got 2 weeks off, and they're back into a new season. So yeah, I mean, they need to figure it out. It's just like Klopp always says, it's just they push the footballers too far. And that's why right now we're seeing COVID-19 all over the place. And that's why in the past we've seen injuries all over the place.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. It's stupid. And I mean, the one thing I will say that was kind of cool that came out of this, I think it was Leipzig in Germany, like, did not let any of their players go international break.
Really?
They made sure they kept everyone like in their
That's
bubble and
awesome.
everything there. And like, I would have loved to see Klopp do that, especially with the injuries and, just the COVID cases that we had. That would have been great if we did it. Understand why he didn't, but still, something I would have liked to see. But, the good news is this week, all the reports are saying that we should have some key guys back. Obviously, Henderson's back. Sounds like Mane is going to be available. I've seen pictures of Thiago is now he's good to go. He's been walking around the
Can't
city,
wait.
and
Can't
then
wait.
and then the baby giraffe, Joel Matip, he's going to be back as well. I think all four of these guys are going to provide us a huge lift. I mean, what are you looking to see out of these four? I think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if all four start in the Merseyside
I was
derby.
just gonna say, I think all four start. Maybe not Matip. I don't know what he'll do with Gomez, because um, didn't he? I think he subbed him at halftime against Aston Villa, right, or in the 60th minute or something. So uh, Gomez has been hot and cold all season. So it'll be curious to see what Klopp does with that one. I would like to see Matip come in. I don't know if he'll push it right away. I don't know how tender his injury is. So I definitely think we see Mane back. We definitely see Thiago in there. I think you have to put him in there. And we'll definitely see Jordan Henderson. But if I'm Jurgen Klopp, I think I'd play Joel Matip, and he's just so much better positionally. He's a much better cover for Trent, and with Henderson in there, that right side will be much more locked down, and they're going to
Agree-
need it against Everton. Everton are a good side. I'm not
Yeah,
worried about the right side against Everton. James Rodriguez, he's been playing really well, but I mean, we have Andy Robertson over there. We have Virgil van Dijk. I'm not too concerned, but his in swinging crosses from the right side, that's going to be tough for Gomez and Trent to defend. So I think that's why we need Matip.
no, I mean, I kind of agree with that. When it comes to Matip, yeah, you touched on the discipline piece, but also, and we've seen it in the past, when he's not in there, when teams go long ball, they always attack that spot. And Matip's much better in the air than Gomez is, and even Fabinho is. So I think that it should be Matip, especially because the cross is coming in. But can't deny Calvert-Lewin's been having a hell of a year so far. He's finally coming into his own, and if no matter what, they're always going to attack the guy next to Van Dijk. But I much rather trust Matip over Gomez in that situation, because again, Calvert-Lewin's crafty enough and quick enough to cause problems if Gomez is out of position. So I'd much rather have the guy know he's going to be in the right position at the right time with Matip.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think because Calvert-Lewin's so good in the air, you need someone like Matip in there.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a hell of a game. I can't wait to get into the pregame with Wahomey as well. It should be a good one. But yeah, everyone, don't forget, please, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We love you guys. We love doing this stuff every week. We
Oh
really
yeah.
appreciate it. But the other news, obviously, with Adrian causing another blunder, there has been a couple of rumors going out there that we potentially might be looking at another keeper coming in. All signs are pointing to Jack to Butland. He's down in the championship right now because their transfer window's open a couple weeks longer. Now, what do you think about that? No, Allison's on the last year of his contract right now. I mean, excuse me, Adrian's on his last year of his contract right now.
Yeah.
Would you roll the dice with Adrian for the rest of the year and just see out his contract, or would you want to see him make a move like this for a guy like Butland,
Yeah, I mean, this is a very contentious topic.
to say the least?
Yeah, I think that I mean, it's tough because I think Klopp is going to stand by his goalkeeper. I think he's going to trust Adrian to get the job done. Just get it through Adrian's head to just keep it simple. If you can't go short, simply just go long. I don't care where it goes. If it goes out of bounds, I don't care if it goes straight to the other goalkeeper. If it goes to the other team, I don't care. Just get it out of the box. That's what I used to say about Simon Mignolet. Just get it out.
Well,
Don't mess around with it. But
well, I would even take it one step further. I would tell everybody in the team, don't pass it back to Adrian. And then Adrian, if you find yourself with the ball, yeah, then just get it the fuck out. Just kick that thing as far as you can.
You saw that start to happen towards the end of the Aston Villa game. Van Dijk was basically refusing to pass him the ball.
I mean, that's what you got to do, man. He's a fine shot blocker, know, but the moment you put the ball at his feet, he's like, oh my God, what am I doing? So
yeah, I mean,
don't even take the risk.
I think Klopp's going to back his goalkeeper. He said the entire time that he's our goalie. He's a great goalie. Like you said, he's a great shot blocker. But at the end of the season, clearly we're going to do something. So maybe that's when Jack Butland comes in. I mean, I don't know how much merit a backup. I mean, a starting goalkeeper for Stoke City is. There's a reason why they're in the championship.
Right.
They're just not a great squad. So. We'll see. I think Klopp back his player.
I agree. I mean, and that's the stuff that pisses me off a little bit is like, even like Wahomey, he got ripped on Twitter a little bit. I get ripped on Twitter a little bit. Like when it comes down to it, this guy plays for Liverpool, and before the game, when you see him starting, like I know he's not reading our tweets and stuff like that, but like you're not going to see a guy like as a teammate, you're not going to see a guy in the lineup and be like, oh fuck, we're screwed. Like, no, that's the exact opposite thing that you do. When you see a guy in there, and no matter how bad he is, you gas him up, you support him, you give him all the confidence in the world. And like, even when he's unlucky, you call him lucky. Hey, lucky, can't wait to have you in the sticks today. Stuff like that. Just completely change that mindset. But right now, I'm sure it doesn't help that he's getting spammed after every mistake he makes when no one played well last game. I would even say that he was probably, I know he cost us a goal, but he was not the worst player on the field for us.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. It's tough to blame a 7-2 loss on a goalie. I mean, in my opinion, he made one mistake really, and it was that first one. But other than that, I mean, they had 3 deflected goals. Like that was just the players need to do a better job of blocking the ball. That's half the time they were turning their bodies, and that's why it was going off the chest, it was going off their legs, and it was going onto the goal. So
yeah,
you can't blame a 7-2 defeat strictly on the goalie. So I mean, people need to wake the hell up.
Yeah, and it's like cool, like Butland. He's just another name. That's all it is. It's just somebody else that's not Adrian. Like we don't even know what he can do. And don't forget, I think we have like 6 or 7 goalies who are from age 17 to 19. So like we have all these guys in the pipeline. Like let's let these guys develop. Especially that guy that we just signed. All signs point to him being a really good player. I mean, Allison raved about him. Allison's brother raved about him. Like we'll see what happens in a couple of years with him. I'd much rather focus on that and find another short-term solution for the next couple of years, because I'd like to think that Allison's injuries have kind of been a little bit more fluky. But I don't know. Are you concerned about that? Just to bring that up, that he's had another injury now, is probably going to be another 4 weeks out.
Not really. I mean, goalie. I mean, this is what happens with keepers. They get injured from time to time. Look at Hugo Lloris on Tottenham. He's had some injury issues the past few years, but before that he was pretty steady. I mean, not right now. If it happens again, then I'll be like, okay, what the hell? But right now it's fine. He'll definitely be missed. I mean, what are they saying? He's out for 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's already been a week and a half. So we'll see. I mean, we got some big fixtures coming up, but hopefully the lads can rally around Adrian.
Hopefully. No, that'd be great. But the other news that came out recently is what they're calling Project Big Picture, and Liverpool and Man United have kind of really been behind this, and it's about a lot of reforms and changes that they want to make to English football. I have the list here of everything that they propose. It's going to take me about 2 minutes to get through all this, but I want to get your thoughts because this is kind of brand new stuff here. So ultimately what they want to do is do an immediate cash bailout of £350 million to the EFL, Football Association, Women's Super League, the FA Women's Championship for revenue lost during the coronavirus pandemic, shutdown of football, all of that. Future revenue sharing from the Premier League to the top 4 tiers of football for ongoing infrastructure and development. Revised profit sharing mechanism for television rights, but with assurances that there will not be a larger share going to the clubs at the top of the table. reduction of the Premier League to 18 clubs, and increasing the Championship, League One, and League Two to 24 clubs. Relegate the bottom two Premier League teams each season. This is actually my favorite one, with the 16th place Premier League team playing in the promotion relegation tournament with the third through fifth place Championship clubs.
Yeah.
Elimination of the League Cup and Charity Shield. Support. I wonder who did that one. So support for expanded Champions League tournament, and establishment of the Independent Women's Football League outside auspices of the FA and Premier League. So I know there's a lot there.
Yeah, I
What
mean,
were your thoughts on all that we read?
the big ones that stand out for me are definitely the elimination of the Community Shield and the Carabao Cup. I mean, I think the Carabao Cup, the EFL Cup, is the most pointless tournament in world football. It's just another game for these guys to play. And yeah, it's nice to get the silverware, but it just, you get the trophy, but you don't win much either. I think you win like 100,000 pounds or something like that. It's like, it's just like scraps. So, I mean, get rid of that. The Community Shield is bogus. Nobody gives a shit about that either. It's just like basically a preseason friendly. Another one that stood out for me, yeah, the 16th place team would be very interesting. Not too sure about that one. I actually kind of like the format how it is right now, where we just relegate the bottom three, and then two championship teams get automatically promoted, and then there's a little playoff. I like that a lot. And then the last one that kind of stands out for me is adding 24 teams to what you said. It was a championship in League One, I think you said,
and League Two. Yep.
in League Two. So I mean, that's a lot, but when you think about it, these teams in the lower divisions, it's a lot of games for them for sure, but they also will get much more, an increase in match day revenue, I would think. So maybe that's one of the reasons why they're promoting that, or why they're trying to establish something like that, because I know that when COVID first struck, those are the teams that were really struggling financially. So
yeah, I mean, it would make sense if you eliminate the League Cup with it too, because then they're really not really necessarily playing that many more games. But I don't like the Premier League going to 18 teams.
yeah,
I like the 20 teams, but I just like the relegation thing. I think that's really cool. Just making them play the championship teams and actually seeing who's actually better, because like you look at a team like Leeds, you know what I mean? Like if they that year they finished third 2 years ago, they probably could have, who knows what would have happened. They could have been pretty competitive in that. But I really like the the cash bailout for especially like the women's league and stuff like that, and also providing some revenue sharing for the younger, like Championship, League One, League Two for infrastructure stuff. I really like to see that. Obviously, they're getting killed right now during the pandemic, but anything that you can do to increase the products there, it's only going to help the Premier League more with,
Yeah, I think Germany does that. I think the Bundesliga. I think Klopp mentioned that in his press conference a few weeks ago, that Germany does some sort of revenue sharing. I could be wrong about that, but I thought that they kind of share the wealth over there.
Yeah, maybe. And again, but I think that would be a really good thing. I'd love to see that. I think it'd really help just the English game as a whole, especially with like the development of some younger players too on those teams. So be interesting to keep an eye out. We'll see what happens there. But that pretty much wraps up this episode. We'll be back later this week for the pregame of the Merseyside Derby. Obviously, is going to be a massive, massive game. Andrew, any last words for the folks before we let them go?
I'm just looking forward to the boys being back. I can't wait to see Thiago play. That's what I'm really looking forward to. I mean, we got a little taste against Chelsea, but this is a big game against Everton. The big man's going to play.
Damn right. Yeah, I can't wait to see that. I just can't wait to see our full squad. I feel like this is going to be the first time that we'll see them in a long time, and the perfect game for it. So, up the Reds. Don't forget, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. We'll be back in a few days for the Merseyside Derby, but until then, up the Reds.